guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm well myself, and as you have seen from the title, this is all about hubby. Yeah, it's funny how I was thinking I'm so tricky to jump some parts and not get into some things, but I think this is decent enough. Yeah. And I mentioned in one of the videos a few weeks ago that God was reminding me that I actually gave my husband a name for this season. If you haven't met, my name is Wanyiha Jean Dutz. The name Wanyiha is a name my grandmother used to call me, and it was after a dead child, yeah, that never got to enjoy life. She would call me Nyiha, and I would be like, who is that? And she would tell me the story, yeah. So later I call myself Wanyiha. And the G is my husband, and Ndutz is what all of you know me by, yeah. So I've really loved that name, and it changed. Like my name used to change every time on Facebook, yeah. Anyway, so when we came to Worcester, and I know I've shared how I came to Worcester and all that. When we came to Worcester, I wasn't really sure, and when I look back, I feel like in that 1 year, it's like God was allowing us to make the decision: are you going to stay together? Okay, but I think even up to the end, we didn't know. We lived in that place for a year. Okay, so like April 2019 is when they moved in. We came in, Michael and I, in June 2019. And so we stayed there until April 2020 is when we would move to this house, yeah. And now I wasn't even sure what is going to happen, yeah, because we were both very beat. We were both like, okay, until God says something, we will not make a move, okay. And that became our pattern for very long, yeah. So yeah, so in those times, yeah, I was just doing my wifely duties. My husband is doing his husbandly duties, paying bills and all of that. And now it seems I'm coming into this thing of cooking, and now he becomes even my biggest support. Helping me deliver food and all of that, all these things came out, I think, of our understanding, yeah. So many times I'm cooking even for YouTube, he's there helping. So he's that kind of guy. He's always been that kind of guy, and when he's like that, it's very easy to be around him, even though we are not sure. And this guy was never going to speak again about marriage or anything until God said so, okay. And so, yeah, we just fell into the routine. But now there came this change 1 year later, okay? So it's 2020. Guys have been home, due to COVID, okay? Due to COVID. And now we're coming to this place, or they're negotiating. Mike had been working in this house. It was in a mess, okay? And so when we came, I'm like retracting. Why do you want us to move into this house? Now there had been a dream, yeah? Turns out, yeah? That my boys and their dad I was taking them to see a particular house, yeah, and I was not going to join them in that house because that is the kind of talk we were having. I would be like still proud, like, oh, I need to go and make it, because this settling, and I don't know, I cannot bear to live the initial years that we used to live. Now, these years were good, there was love and everything, but there was also struggle. This struggle is what I'm scared of, and it has been a year of struggle, but it seems like this thing is giving. Also, now I have my employment card, okay? But now I had this dream that I've been showing them some houses, and now I tell them of a place that has some new houses, and I think they're nice, okay? But I see a crowd come between us, and they move ahead, okay? So I'm like, wow, okay, what is that about? And then somebody gives me some sweets, the menthol sweets. And I think somebody else comes and puts me on a horse or something, yeah? And so I start preaching to this crowd, and I notice they're not following them. They're looking at me now, listening. So with this menthol, I'm able to shout and talk. And, now is when later I would come to understand that it's through ministry and this submission to God that I was even able to reach these guys. Because at that point, it was like, yeah, it could go either way, right? And by that time, we had gotten so many experiences. One day I will tell you about the things God would do, you know, in whatever circumstances, yeah. So it was a lot of things coming together, just tough things, yeah, coming together. So eventually we came into this house. At this point, there's nobody who can say, I have power to say go or come or do whatever, yeah. So we come here and yeah, the situation in this house was bad, and the way I knew these guys, I knew they wouldn't work in this house, so it was up to me. Honestly, I cried and I was like, Mike, are you sure? You know, because Mike was also like, mom, chill out. Mike really wanted to have a room of his own because we were coming from a 2-bedroom, so they were like settling for whatever it is, yeah. And so because now I've come here with a job, okay, so I'm busy with this job. I wake up at 5, I begin work, and especially now when people got to know me, I was busy every day, yeah. So I started repairing, I started, you know, even furnishing, thrifting, doing all these things, and let me tell you, I was so happy. Purpose will give you that, yeah. So I was happy, you know. I was you know, I was beginning to be myself again, yeah. And our friendship was growing. Hubby and I have always been like tight, yeah. Like you know, the friendship was really kosher. And I know a lot of people who know him would say, yeah, this guy has great he can talk to anybody, yeah. But now we would have like this amazing pillow talks, and anytime that I had problems with the kids, he would be like, you know, winking at me like, easy. So later is when now we'll have to talk about it in private, and is like, you know, just helping me understand about teenage boys and all of that. So I would let things happen, you know. And eventually now when the kids, if you watched the other video, the kids, I had hired them in my job for very little money, and eventually, of course, Tamwa being, you know, the great leader, he was like, I'm not working for you. Nobody can even work for you, okay? Because I'm like, you guys have to do your duties when I say so, not when you feel like, and all this. Yeah, and eventually Tosh was like, this says I'm out, okay? So now Mike is the one who gets stuck, you know, doing dishes and all of that. And I'm like, Mike, no, you're also a child of this home, okay? So you don't get to, you know, deal with the mess your brothers, you know, leave. And you know, the teenage boys can be messy, like they will eat and put their dishes there, you know, somebody else will deal with that, and I'm here working. So I'm like, you guys, I'm trying so much, yeah, because I was forever tired. But anyway, I told Mike, you're not a slave in this house, yeah, so it's okay, I will do everything. And so yeah, so they would be doing their own things. They seem like they don't care. I'm hating them so much. I'm like, men, I hate men. I hate how men behave. I hate how they're not conscious, okay? So I would notice, like, when my husband is cutting grass or something, they will all go and join him, except Tamwa. Tamwa is not like that. Tamwa does his thing, okay? So yeah, I would see them, if he's repairing a car, they will all go there and repair the car. You know, like, you know, Tamwa, Tosh, and Mike, they will go there and do that. And I would notice, okay, so is it me? Am I the problem? Why is it they don't like working around me? Okay, but God was just touching each person's heart the way he would, yeah. And so I realized, and actually everybody realized, that whenever hubby would come home and he finds dishes in the sink, he will not ask any of the boys. And he had said, even when like we were younger, I don't see the point of sending anyone. You just do what, you know, what you find to do. So he would come and clean, and I would feel so guilty, like a traditional wife. Oh, we are sorry that, you know, we didn't clean up before you came. At that time, I'm tired. You know, I'm unhealthy, very unhealthy, okay? So he would come and do these dishes, and we noticed that as he comes and does these dishes, whenever he comes home from, you know, work, he would really relax. You know, other times he would still come with the tension from the workplace, yeah? And he would be like, why is this here? You know, all of that. And be like, hey, easy, okay? We've also been working, so it will be like that kind of exchange, yeah? Very, very unhealthy. So he would come, I don't know who, if God whispered to him or whatever, but he would come, and whatever is not right, he sets right, okay? If I'm packing my things, he will help pack, you know, and he will do it very in a nice fashion, okay? Him and Tosh will work the same way. Yeah, so he comes, does dishes, and so because he does that yesterday, today, the next day, I'll be like, guys, please, can you help? Because dad cannot be coming and finding dishes in the sink while I'm here working. I'm working for all of us. And they would say, Mom, you don't notice dad enjoys doing this. This is what calms him down. I'm like, what? Really? Okay, I noticed, but I didn't think, this is even something you can put into words. And they like, let him do it because it helps relax him, okay? Now, as good as this man is, this time, the dates, everything had just put him on edge, yeah? Like, he wasn't happy, he wasn't happy about things. All this being pulled and tagged, it's back home, it's us, we're just these needy people looking at him, yeah? And now from seeing my customers, I'm seeing the same symptoms, yeah? Some anger, some disappointment, some sadness, okay? And so, yeah, I want to do the right thing, okay? And so I'm promising myself, and I can remember with guilt all the times, even in Kenya, I was getting broke, and I will ask him, oh, please give me this money. Oh, please, I don't have anywhere else to get. Oh, we had this one friend who would help each other, but oh, this time she doesn't have. And even when I ask with pride, yeah? Like, if you can't, it's okay, I will talk to so-and-so. And in the morning, I will find he has sent, yeah? So that is a gaslight. That is gaslighting someone. Like, oh, you came to me wanting that money, but you're like still proud, yeah? Now, in my journey, in case you haven't noticed, God has taken me through all this to show you what your people are going through in America, okay? And you guys have been so obstinate. You're insulting them. You're getting even your Gen Z children to talk to your siblings, yeah? The way you want. You guys will be in cahoots with your children, yeah? A sibling and their children are, attacking now the other sibling, like sisters, you'll get your Gen Z child to talk to her auntie, oh, unaringaga squeeze sijui what, and these people are just like they are heartbroken, okay, over this, yeah? So for me, because of doing the journey and being beaten proper, yeah, I had recognized how I hurt my husband in the process, okay? So I would be like, whether this guy, we are together or not, yeah, I will pay back everything I used to get, okay? And so as I'm coming to money, because now this guy has become tight-fisted, yeah? He just does what he can do and now pays, debts, yeah? A lot of people are in credit card debts, okay? So eventually I'm like, why don't I take care of this so you can pay your debt? And so slowly by slowly, that is easing, and I see this guy is relaxing, okay? And I'm happy about that, yeah? And during the time, as I said in the other video, Mike would one day find me with a lot of work, and I would tell him, no, don't worry, I'll do it. I don't know how I'll finish it, but I'll do it. And he was like, no, Mom, just show me how to do like 2 chapos. And he took 2 pans. This guy hasn't been doing this, but they were trying before, just helping around a bit with the others. But this time he's like, I'll use these 2 pans. You're going to show me how to fry these chapos, so you don't have to go back and forth between the counter and the stove, because the way this kitchen is structured, it's a lot of footwork, yeah? And in the evening, I'd have swollen feet. I'm dipping in hot water, and I had said for as long, because I hate poverty, I'll be giving these kids a bit of money, yeah? These 2, they don't care. Mike, he's like, Mom, how are you even doing it, yeah? And so now he comes back to working, and I'm paying him, yeah? Whenever I have money, whenever I make money, because money will come in these Americas, I would write this guy a check, okay? So this family first before I focus on mine, okay? But I'm still now, portioning, just what I know I can afford and manage to my family back in Kenya. So I'm like, you guys are still working. You guys still, I know you have responsibilities, but this is the much I'll be able to do until I know where this is going, yeah? At that point, I'm like, my sister will come, even my cousins will come, yeah? I want to have taken this job to the next place, so that when they come, they have a place to live, they have a job to do, perhaps we even have a Kenyan restaurant, okay? But then now I have this issue of the hand. Who is dealing with all this? My husband. He's seeing all this. He's seeing when I can't sleep. You know, my whole side feels like it's collapsing. He's reading all these documents on, you know, fatty liver and all of that. Yeah, so overall, even, you know, without being lovey-dovey, there's just so much care. If I tell my people how I am, look, because my family is a case study in this, and my sister knows I love her, I will still use her, an example. One time I'm talking to my sister, I'm all puffy and all. So she said, why are you looking like that, guy? You're so ugly and all that. And I'm like, I have a problem with my liver, so it's like my body is not properly regulated. Yeah, if she calls and I'm like, she's like, where are the others? And I say they are at the gym. Why are you not going to gym? Because I'm resting from cooking chapatis since 5 a.m. Okay, and you know, maybe the thought is like, okay, so if you get this tired from cooking this chapati, why is it not reflected in the money? Okay, so like a bit of insensitivity there. I understand. I've been there. That was me towards my husband, and it got him very bitter, very sad, very feeling alone. Yeah, feeling like these people don't understand, but I will still keep my word and take care of them. Okay, so for me, I'm not my husband. I was like, sister, that is where your help. Now that is where I cut it. Okay, and I decide, okay, I will continue doing it for this whole year. Yeah, sending whatever this money I send, and I'm going now to boost. Okay, I'm going to boost her at the end of this time. So that she gets off my hair. Now that is, she did not know it. I think it was mid that year, and I was like, so mid would be, because we came here in April, mid would be towards November, December. Yeah, so she doesn't know it, but she's off my payroll. Okay, and yeah, so I'm like, okay, at the end of this year, because I will keep doing whatever I'm doing, at the end of this year I will give a boost. Okay, and it's the boost that I can afford. So I made a boost kitty. Okay, so I'm putting this money here so that I'll give my sister, she gets to do something with it, whatever it is. I do not know what she will choose to do, but that is what I do. Okay, and then now at the end of that year, I see now, because I'm aching so much, I'm so frustrated, I don't know how to take care of things here, both here and home, you know. So I will I don't know what will happen, but now God introduces this job and I ran away. Okay, so in this time I was not posting on Facebook. Nobody knows what is going on with me. I am healing. I find just healing. I remember thinking one time, yeah, in this entry, this is our entry area, I will fill it with plants. Yeah, so just monsteras, green plants. I don't like flower. I don't want flowers. I don't want color. Okay, so this is the healing process, you guys. It may sound very petty, yeah. So I want to fill this place with flowers, you know, tumbling like that, yeah. You see that one? Yeah, so I just want, when I step in here, it is just a lot of greenery filling this. I said I want this place to be like a jungle, but you can't have that throughout the year because of the change of seasons. Yeah, so I would come here in the morning, in the days I am not working, I put my feet up, I read, I share the word, whatever. Not much, yeah, not much of myself on social media, because monitoring eyes are real, and some of those monitoring eyes are able to deduce what is happening. Yeah, so I'm just healing myself, healing my mind, coming into my softness. I don't know it, but God is still mending us. Okay, so as I am healing, I'm getting softer. Let me tell you, if you've never known softness, you need to get it God's way. Okay, so it will not be all through soft, because God is healing you for the next thing, but it will be softness all the same. Okay, so I see God is healing me, bringing the, you know, the nature in here, because God heals you, like in Proverbs, in Psalms 23. Okay, so I love greenery. Those who know me and have walked with me knows I love nature. I'm a nature girl. Yeah, so I love going to by the lakes. Okay, so these places, and even back home, the way they've designed, it's just similar. Okay, so even after church back home, I would go by Arboretum, yeah, and just have a picnic there with my kids. And so this is coming back. I see that the same things that God used to heal me or take me through the hard times, are the same things I'm employing here, okay? So wherever I am, my husband used to say, now I understand cat ladies. Yeah, like you have 10 cats, you'll still want more, okay? Because he doesn't get, you know, why I'm into plants like this. I want them everywhere, every inch of the place, yeah? Now I think I've calmed down a bit because God was seriously healing me in that time, in that 1 year that I spent in this hospital. Now I will tell you something so nice. It's so nice to us, these things we come to get after we go home, and then we come back and start now fighting seriously the altars at home, which means we fought these altars on a serious note for 2 years. It wasn't just 2 years. These things almost took us out, yeah. Yeah, so so that was happening. I was coming into my softness. I no longer answer you know, rudely, you know, because I was a rude girl. I was rough. I was, you know, and I was thinking, I used to say, if I ever get a chance with my husband again or at marriage again, I'll be, you know, so soft, yeah. But I didn't understand that healing is a process, okay? So I would shout, and then I realized as we are going, it's so funny that I will shout perhaps in front of my kids, and I say sorry privately, okay? And I would see, yeah, how is this even helping the children, okay? So these children have seen a lot, and so I started now embracing my weaknesses publicly, and I would say I'm very sorry when I shout like this, either at you guys or like at dad. My frustrations, this is still not valid. Even if I'm frustrated, you guys are my family. You're the best and closest thing to me. So I'm very sorry when I shout like this. And I would find that they're doing the same to me. They're saying sorry, you know. And let me tell you, it seemed like it was overnight, but I would hear my children now say, oh, you guys think you love each other so much. And I'm like, where is that thing coming from? And it seemed like just so natural. Like when hubby is seated and I'm seated next to him, he would do this thing with his hand, and so we interlock hands, yeah, usually from this side, yeah. So we would interlock hands, and we don't even know what is this we are doing. So we'll hold hands throughout, like we are watching TV or whatever. I don't know, but that was so beautiful. We didn't even notice when that started happening. Now in public, yeah, all these things we could do in private. We could talk about our kids, our families, our hardships, but in public it started happening, and our kids would notice, yeah. So with this thing, his debts were being paid, okay, slowly but surely, because now that I'm holding this forte, he's able to pay his debt, you know. And I was, you know, I was making money, trying to manage things, just wanting to give back to this man, because even at the worst of times, even when he left me, he never quit on me. He kept his promise, I will take care of you guys. So we are kind of doing that same thing, yeah. And you know, I see healing come upon us, yeah. Now, these things that I used to do alone, do you know, I would wake up at 5 just to come here and be alone, reading, writing, listening to music or whatever. I would see now the guys, like on Saturdays when they're all home, they would come and just occupy this space, all of them. It was so peaceful. It was like the Garden of Love, yeah. You guys thought I was going to say the Garden of Eden. Yeah, so it was like the Garden of Love. We just come, lie on each other. People put their feet on each other. So healing, because whenever we were in the living room, what are we doing? Watching a movie or something. So this was like a place where we could now focus on each other, okay? So the advice, yeah, I still say, I'm still talking on behalf of self, yeah. What I saw from my husband, I think this is what the video is supposed to be. What I saw from my husband is that gentleness, yeah, and that willingness. Like he would ask whenever I was working in this place, what time are you going for lunch? I'll buy you lunch, okay? And I'm supposed to get like free lunch, or sometimes free lunch in the kitchen, yeah. But he would be willing to pay. And so when I went there, I would get 50%, yeah. I would insist to pay just to get the 50%, but he's like, no. So just that care, you know, I would see. And also the response around from the people around us. Actually, I think this is the perfect opportunity to tell you this, because it might not work with any other video. Okay, so we are friends here. I'm talking like, you know, auntie. Okay, so something happened in this year, okay, and this is after battling, okay, and you guys put a pin where I said where we went to the dad's hospital. We went to the hospital where his dad was admitted, yeah, and they went away to the bathroom, and when they came back, I had cleaned everything. And that later that evening, my husband would tell me, he was my boyfriend then, yeah, although we had a baby, he would tell me I could never marry somebody else. And so in this place, okay, this dream I had the other day, yeah, so it's still about me, but it's okay. Maybe one day he will grace us with his presence. So allow me to say this first. When I went back to Dieppe, yeah, so I was still wounded and all that, yeah, my husband formed a family WhatsApp group, okay? Yeah, some of these things I forget. My husband formed a family WhatsApp group, okay? When he formed this group, as I was, you know, like saving the different members in this group, I wanted to save them like a special way, not the names I had saved them under, okay? So for him, I called him Mfalme. I didn't even think it mattered. It's just the other day God was, you know, doing this to me. Remember what you called your husband. So I called him a king, even in the worst circumstances. Yeah, so I would call him Mfalme. You know, even when I'm like doing a Facebook post, I call him Mfalme, okay? Yeah, so apparently that was a huge thing in the spiritual, okay? So I called him king even then. Maybe God knew I would do the right thing eventually, okay? So yeah, let's go back here. So in this hospital, we would meet for lunch, okay? And so in this dream, I see a similar setting. I'm working in a hospital, guys, okay? And he's working somewhere else, not in a hospital, okay? So, but it's the same establishment. This is a university town, okay? So I'm working in this hospital, and he's always coming to our hospital cafeteria, okay? That is where we meet, all right? And so in this dream, we are somewhere like Dandora, okay? It's like Dandora, the way the homes are set up, yeah? Like both the places we come from, both our homes are on the road, yeah? On like the inner roads of Dandora estate. And so he's leaving a room and he's watching, because suddenly there's like an attack, yeah? There's an attack in this place. People are, you know, like some soldiers are coming, they're taking people away, okay? But he doesn't want me to be taken away, but he knows he'll be taken away, okay? So he's at the door, he's looking at me and he's telling me, please hide, make sure you hide very well. These people are enemies and they're going to take me, but I don't want you to be found, okay? Because they're going to beat you and mistreat you, and you know it will be a bad situation for women and children, okay? And so he's still at the door. He's so stressed. I can see him from my hiding place. He's so stressed. Oh my God, I'm looking at him. It's such a bad situation. I'm so scared and crying, but he's at the door, okay? But he wants to close this door. He's just looking at me. He wants to, you know, look for the longest time before these people to come and take him away. So they're coming and just taking men away, okay? So he's still looking at me. He's so sad, yeah? But he wants to close the door before they reach us. But they reach us before he's able to close the door, okay? And they take him away, okay? So even when he pulled the door, he didn't close it all the way. And so these people come in and they find me. They just pushed away the tables. It was like office tables. They beat me to a pulp. They beat me till I fainted. So I no longer knew what happened until now. We're in this place where I actually work in the kitchen, okay? So I work in the kitchen as a chef, yeah? So I'm forever carrying these chef troughs, you know, the places we carry the food in as we do our meal preps, okay? So in the, this time, I'm coming to the hospital cafeteria. So there's a dining area, a huge dining area, and people are seated, okay? As I come in, they don't see me, they don't care, okay? So I come in with this. This is like something I do all the time. I'm always coming to, you know, just bring fresh food to the cafeteria. That is where I work. I work in the kitchen as a chef, okay? So on this one time, in this one particular instance, I come and I have like a table, a prep table where we come and put this food and perhaps change the containers, take away the dirty ones and leave the food, yeah? So I look the queue that the workers from all these places, yeah, that come to eat here are queuing, okay? And I look and I see husband. I can see him from the back and I'm like, oh my God, that is G, you know? So I'm like, my God, I leave everything, and suddenly this whole cafeteria is looking at us as I run. He's still not aware. I just come, you know, I just come and find him, you know, on the line. I get behind him and I just hug him from behind, and I'm crying, and you know, like, I can't believe I found him, you know. And he's like, he just closes, you know, the way you close your eyes and lift your head up, he knows it's me, okay? So he turns around, and now the whole cafeteria is cheering, and they're like, oh my God, they found each other. Oh my God, it's like they all know this story, okay? So they're like, oh my God, they found each other. So he turns, still in my arms, and he holds me close. He's looking at my face, you know, just, you know, the way you hold like a child's face. He's like, is it you? Oh my God. So he hugs me. We hug for very long. Everyone is going nuts in this place. The chefs are cheering. They are so happy. Everybody is aware these people have found each other, okay? So it's like they know the whole story. This man was taken away. This lady remained and she was beaten. So as far, like, he never knew what happened to me all these years, okay? And so he's looking at me, and he says the same thing. He said, when the tears are so close, when we went to see the dad, okay? So, like, in the presence of everyone, as he's holding me, he says, I could never marry somebody else. You know, like, it makes so much sense that even in this turmoil, as he was away, he knew he left me behind. He knew I could have, you know, been killed. He doesn't know what has been happening. Now he understands. So he says with understanding, no wonder, you know, it's like, no wonder I didn't marry anybody else, you know. And he says to me, I could never marry somebody else. And so that is how, like, that was the revelation of the season, yeah, as we stepped into this, as we stepped away from these 7 years. And so I wake up and share this dream with him, yeah. And he would later get a similar dream, okay? So, but it was like God is showing us, you know, like, I kept you guys away from each other, but I kept you, yeah? And I allowed for a meeting to take place. Now, this dream would not have made any sense if I didn't go into this place where we used to meet for lunch, okay? See you guys on the next one. God bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.